Once again, guys, this is the Investor Show. As always, this is your host, Prince Stites, coming to you guys live with another great, awesome, and magnificent video. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button and all the other great stuff. And thank you guys for tuning in. And you guys got any cool comments? Let me know below. But as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to jump straight into it. So this video, I have pulled up right now a Vanguard S&P 500 index. Admiral Fund is pulled up right here on Vanguard. The stock symbol right here is VFIX. If you want to type it in, you just type it in up here, and it'll type you in, bring you straight to here, VFIX. This is a mutual fund, and it tells you right here about this mutual fund. This investment seeks to track the performance of the benchmark index, and it measures the return of the large capital, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. So its performances of the S&P 500 index, right? So this is a mutual fund that tracks the S&P 500. Now, this is a mutual fund profile, whatever the case may be. But what I'm going to do is, that's the mutual fund. It's from Vanguard, and it tracks the S&P 500. So I'm going to compare it with Vanguard's ETF that tracks the S&P 500. Mutual fund versus ETF, that's what this video is going to be about. So this is the ETF. You scroll down here, you look at this ETF, blah, 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 you read it right here. It's going to tell you pretty much the same thing, tracks the S&P 500. So now this is what we're going to do. We're going to compare it. We're going to go here to compare funds, right? Then we go to compare funds. I'm going to type in, what was VIFAX and VOO. Right, that's VFIAX and VOO. We're going to hit the compare button. Right now that it's comparing it, it's going to pull it up. You got the VFIX in this corner, then you got the VOO in this corner, the ETF here, and you got the mutual fund here. Okay, fund category, large cap. Okay, cool. All right. They got the ratings here, the returns, the fund price, 1 year return. $24.94, 1 year return, $24.98. They're pretty much neck and neck in a 1 year return. You go here to next is net expense ratio. They look about the same. They both manage about 85 billion. The sales load, both of them have no load. Brokerage commission applies, whatever the case may be. So you're like, okay, well that's all right. Let's look at the performance. When we look at the performance of it over 5 years, you got the S&P 500 here. We're going to go back to 3 years. They're pretty much neck and neck. You go back to 5 years. They're neck and neck. 1 year, neck and neck. Year to date, neck and neck. We're going to go to total return. We're going to look at 5 years. We're going to look at all of them essentially, right? So they're pretty much neck and neck. They pretty much do the same thing, right? When you look at, you can come down here, look at the performance. Year-to-date return, they're pretty much about the same. 1 month return, about the same. 3 month return, the mutual fund got a little bit more, a little bit higher, but they're pretty much about the same here, 7 to 8%. 5 year return about the same. In 10 years, you don't have 10 years because the VOO was started in 2010 or whatever, like you see right here. From 2000, and this has been since 2010. So since inception, I won't look at this number too much because this was started in 2010. They started in 2000. But now, when you go over here to fees, right? This is a big difference. This is the ETF. This is right here. Hypothetical example. Fees are calculated assuming that the initial investment, if you invested $10,000 and you put in $2,500 a year, which is about what? About $200, I guess, a little bit over $200 a month. You brought a new share every single month for every year for 4 years, and assuming the rate is 5%, this would be your fees. VOO, you would pay $83, which is a 0.35, and with the mutual fund, you're going to pay $341, almost a 400% return on investment when you're looking at the fees with the mutual fund compared to the ETF. Right? Here we go right here. You got the expense ratio. All this other stuff added in. You got your initial investment if you put in $10,000. and a minimum of $1. And here it is right here. When you're comparing the ETF versus the mutual fund, it's a mutual fund, this is the ETF. These are what your fees looking like over here. These are what your fees looking like over here. So when we put them up neck and neck, this is how you can compare them. This is one of the things you need to look at. You're getting the same exact return. When you look at the portfolio, they're pretty much about the same thing. Look at this. Same thing. These are the portfolio. They're tracking the same thing. One person is just paying higher and more for the exact same thing. But anyway, you guys got any questions, issues, or concern, leave me some comments, whatever the case may be. Likes them below. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in.